and welcome to another morning, a beautiful morning for Saturday morning reviews. I'm your host, Vincent Laspada, along with my co-host, the man that needs no introduction. His Patriots are still alive. They're still kicking. Dan Skip Allen, what's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. Just we're in the holiday season. Just kind of seen a lot of the movies already. So it's just movies are coming out that I had already seen. But, you know, we're going to talk about some of the newer movies that are coming out. That
I got to tell you, this year sucked, bro. I know you're probably gonna say I'm crazy and ridiculous. I just think it sucked. Like, I mean, let's be honest. How many Superman movies we need to see? I mean,
they, when they rebooted the DCU, it's, you're bound to get Superman again. You're probably going to get Superman's going to get a guest appearance in Supergirl. Then we're going to get Man of Tomorrow the following year. Then we're going to get The Brave and the Bold the next year. So you're going to get a lot of Superman. So you better get used to it. So James Gunn's at the helm of the DCU now, and he's got a lot of ideas.
Skip, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to get used to it. I just don't care about Superman.
No, I know. I understand. I have a feeling this Superman's going to be an interesting one, though. I mean, the last version of Superman with Zack Snyder was kind of dark. The DCEU, the last one was kind of a darker, and I didn't like that. Even though I did like Henry Cavill as Superman, I kind of didn't like. But we did get new superheroes in the Fantastic Four that we have. We had pretty bad previous version of that really seemed like it might be on the nose for what the Fantastic Four should be. We're going to get them next year in Avengers Doomsday.
I'm still up in the air about that movie. I kind of did like the twist of how they set the movie back in like the 50s and the 60s with Fantastic Four. But then if you go back and you really think about it, like, why do you think they did that? Like,
it's retrofuturism. It's a modern time, but it still looks like the 60s. So it's a retrofuturism. And I always thought that was what the Fantastic Four should always look like, have that retrofuturism,
Yeah, but they made them, they're not space people. Like, they made them like they're astronauts. They're not astronauts.
Well, they made it. They made them. They had to go explore a mission, something like some kind of sun flares back in the. They didn't really. They kind of fast forwarded through their origin a little bit at the beginning, so you kind of really don't get their origin. You get them established as the Fantastic Four already. You know what I mean? So but they were astronauts who explored something. And then they got their powers exploring like sun flares or something like that. Big giant sun.
Well, Skip, let's start off with a movie that I am going to go see tomorrow with my nieces and nephews. They keep raving about it. Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme. This is an original story. And all I know from watching the trailer, it's about ping pong.
Yeah, well, look, Ben, you could be able to relate to this because you're a hustler. Yeah, you have your parents and you have your business and stuff like that, but you're kind of a hustler. You've had a lot of little side venue side deals in the past that haven't always worked out, and this and that and the other. Then you go on, you try something new. This kid is a hustler in New York City in the 50s, but his main thing is. All his hustles are he wants to be the greatest in the world's most well-known table tennis player. And Timothée Chalamet, I'll tell you what, he's made some really good movies over the last 5 or 10 years or so. And he's really made a name for himself. This
Wonka's my favorite.
Movie. Huh?
I really liked him in Wonka.
Yeah, he was. I didn't expect him to be so good as Willy Wonka, but I really did enjoy him as Willy Wonka. But it's basically about table tennis. It's loosely based on a real life guy, and but it's kind of got like a Josh Safdie, one of the Safdie brothers, his kind of take on the guy's story, and he kind of makes it into a fast paced, crazy U.S. versus Japan, World War II kind of adjacent story set in New York City in the 1950s. It's a fantastic movie. I'd be shocked if you didn't like it. It's in I think I got it at number 5 on my top 10 list of the year.
Oh my God.
On Monday.
Oh my God. This movie just came out. You really put it in your top 5?
Well, I saw it over a month ago. Yeah, I put it in my top 5 of movies of the year. My list will be out on Monday. So, but yeah, I saw this movie late November.
Now, what does this have a gritty side to it, like New York gritty side to it? Like kind of like a.
Yeah, if you look at the look of it, the aesthetic of it, it's a dirty. There's a griminess to it. There's a little bit of an old fashioned look of New York in it. You know, it really looks gorgeous. I mean, the way Safdie put added a graininess to it. You know, but if you're a fan of one of his last movies, he did Uncut Gems. You're gonna really love this one.
Let's talk about a movie that I seen over the weekend. I saw this movie called Honey Don't. And I'm getting to be a really big fan of this actress, Margaret Qualley. We saw her, we just saw her recently in The Substance, which was really good. She also had a couple other movies. She was in Happy Gilmore 2 that came out this summer.
She's in Blue Moon. She's in Blue Moon. That's out right now. That's considered an awards contender from Richard Linklater.
So yeah, she's done some, yeah, and she's very open with her body. Like, it's a lot of these movies she's been just doing naked movies, you know, and this could just be something that she enjoys and she likes, you know, putting out there. But this one is she plays a small town investigator in a series of strange deaths. You know, earlier I was trying to figure out what this reminds me of. There was a TV show that was kind of like this. I just can't get it off the top of my tongue what this reminds me of.
But the new movie at the show with Ethan Hawke, The Lowdown, does it remind you of that?
No, I don't. No? I told earlier I was the other day I was watching this. I'm like, man, this is because they said it was a comedy, and it really isn't a comedy. Like it's not. You said it's kind of like a film noir. Yeah, it's a film noir. It's a modern day neo noir. It's classic Humphrey Bogart. It's classic Third Man, that type of stuff. You got an investigator getting into all kinds of trouble, or Jack Nicholson. Chinatown, one of my all-time favorite movies, Chinatown. It really has the vibe of those type of movies, except it's got a female investigator with Margaret Qualley, and you know she's got a quote-unquote love interest, and you know in film noirs they have twists and turns and stuff like that, and you know it's kind of cool. I thought it was good. It didn't do as well as I thought it was because I kind of liked it. It's from one of the Coen brothers, another brother tandem that decides they're going to split up and go their own ways. And this is, I believe it's Ethan Coen who did this. This is his second movie, Lucy Frankenstein, or Lucy something Frankenstein, whatever it was the last one, or I don't remember what the last. I'm getting my movies. It's not Frankenstein. Wasn't the last one. Came out a couple years ago. Margaret Qualley was in that one, kind of like another kind of movie similar to this in a way. But yeah, I guess, you know, Coen brothers are going their own ways lately. And this they're splitting, or they're just not doing things. They've been doing their own movies lately. And this Ethan Coen, I believe this is his second movie away from his brother, Joel Coen, you know? And, I liked it though. I like a modern day neo noir, and I thought there was really some good twists and turns in here that, and I don't want to give it away, but there's some good acting, supporting actors and stuff in here too. Well, you got Chris Evans. I tell you, one person I cannot stand. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I can't stand him, but I've seen him in so many, and I just think he's so dumb. Charlie Day. I just cannot. He doesn't do it for me. Like, he just seems like that goofy, quirky actor. Like, you can never take him serious.
Yeah, some people like him. I'm not the biggest fan of him either, but I did like Chris Evans in a sleazy pastor of this little church in this town, and he's got
fucking everybody.
Well, don't give away all the secrets of the movie because people haven't seen it. Maybe. No, he's a sleazy. I love Evans doing these different roles away from Captain America. He wants to try to get a name for himself away from Steve Rogers. Of course. The trailer came out this week, the teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday, and it's
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Steve Rogers teaser trailer. So we now know he's coming back for Avengers Doomsday. But yeah, I mean, it's just a teaser. It doesn't give a whole lot away, but we know he's got a baby and in the trailer. So he must have had a child in one of the alternate dimensions that are involved in this movie or something. But yeah, I like seeing him in different types of roles. And he's really funny in this as a sleazy pastor of this little non-denominational church, and then Aubrey Plaza's in here as a love interest for the Qualley character, but I don't look, everything can't be 4.5 star and 5-star movies, True. It can be a 3.5 star movie and still be a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I totally understand what you're saying. And the last one we have is a movie that came out last week. It's lighting the box office on fires. I am talking about Fire and Ash, the new Avatar movie by James Cameron. What's your take on this 3-hour extravaganza?
Yeah, I saw this on December 1st. And it's one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's got a lot of little subplots in it. So you have to pay attention to all the characters and all their motivations and who's trying to do what and why they're doing what they're doing. It's got Stephen Lang. It's got, all the different characters back again for this movie, and people, it rehashes a lot of the second movie. Nah, I mean, you're in a similar world, you're dealing with similar characters, so you're going to have a little bit of similar motivations and similar stuff going on. But I just choose to look at it like the movie's gorgeous and the story is not convoluted. It's not a rehash. It's just developing these characters in a way that makes you care more about the characters as they progress, and also has those messages that James Cameron has tried to put into these Avatar movies about the planet and about the environment. And I know you kind of like, oh, why are we going to put messages in the movie? Because sometimes you need subliminal messaging, and it's not really subliminal. He kind of hits you over the head with the environmental stuff and the planet and the water and stuff like that. But I think you need it. I think you need movies where directors are giving a good message to the viewers to say, hey, you know what? Our planet's sacred. We need to care about our planet. We need to, and he puts it in this whole world of Pandora and the Na'vi, and we got a new tribe and a new villain. So that's good, and everybody's raving about the new villain, I thought she was great, I was going to see it again, but I was feeling under the weather and I didn't go again. So, but yeah, it's one of my, once again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. This is my number 8 of my top 10 movies of the year list. I just think it's incredible. It's like you said, it's making millions and millions of dollars. It's going to make a lot of money. But if James Cameron, controversial kind of thing came out today, and I'm going to read it to you right here. A controversial statement came out from James Cameron, which kind of made people kind of surprised. James Cameron is keeping the future of Avatar 4 and 5 open, stating they'll happen if Avatar Fire and Ash, which is the third movie, performs well enough. But he's also ready to move on to other projects, hinting he might pass the baton or reveal plot details at a press conference if the sequels don't materialize, acknowledging changing market realities. That is really crazy, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
Well, let's be honest. This is not the first time he's passed the baton to somebody. He did the same thing with Terminator. or
Terminator. Yeah.
he did 1 and 2, and then he passed it on. Now they're saying that he's coming back to the franchise. So we're gonna see where that leads. But you know, this you got to think too. This guy's he's getting up there. He's not a young chicken, and you know everything he does is very crucial to his career now. So he has to pick and choose what he. I mean, but just go back and see this guy's filmography. I mean he did the Alien movies. You know,
he did Aliens. He did Aliens. He did, like you said, 2 of the Terminator movies. He did, you know, Titanic. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's done some pretty hefty hitters in the theater. So he's just, and then he's worked with a lot. I mean, he's worked with Sigourney Weaver a couple times, on these movies. So he's gotten to showcase some of the stuff that he's really passionate about. So we're just gonna have to see where James Cameron's head is, and if he's going to continue on the legacy of. I personally haven't seen one at all. I've not seen one Avatar yet. I own 2. I've not seen them yet. They're still in the package.
Wow.
I know people are probably like, well, you know, why do you own them if you don't open them? I think, to me, I got to tell you, man, I remember back in the day, like, movies was a thing that I used to like love, and I would share that interest with you, and we would go to these screeners all the time. And I got to tell you, it's shifted. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's just, I just don't care anymore. Or I feel like I'm coming to the conclusion that I think I've gotten out of the movies and TV shows, not altogether, but for a majority of it, because there's too much to watch. They're cramming so much in front of us that you feel like you're being suffocated by all these channels. And they say, like, oh, cut the cord and just go streaming. Well, what do you think if you had all the streaming services, that it's not going to be somewhat close to what you're paying for cable? Because it is.
Yeah, it is.
So I think I'm short of time. You know, I work a lot, and then when I come home, I'm tired, and so I gotta pick and choose what I do, and I don't feel like sitting and watching movies all night, all day, every day is something that I enjoy anymore. So I try to find other things that keep me busy, but not to say that if I see something that I'm not gonna watch it, because I will. I just, like I said at the beginning of the show, I just think that the movies this year have sucked. They're just remakes and reboots, and it's
been a lot of that. There's been a lot of reboots, rehashes, remakes, sequels, prequels, reimaginings. There's been a lot of that. You're right, Vinny. But, you know, there are a good 10 to 20 fantastic movies that are original, and that, you know, if you go look around, you'll find them. And Marty Supreme is one of them. You know, Honey Don't, which we just talked about, is one of them. You know what I mean? You just got to look. You got to know that what you're looking for. And if you want to see something original, you got to go out and look for it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No. So, what are we missing anything?
Well, Christmas has come, and you know what that means?
The Oscar season.
Volume 2 of Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Dropped on Netflix. And I watched all the episodes last night. Speaking of a frequent collaborator of James Cameron, Linda Hamilton plays Agent K, and she is a nasty character, and she's pretty nasty in the show in these 3 episodes that dropped. The previous plot, a lot of the previous plots from the first 4 episodes have progressed. We get to see where some of these characters end up and where they go after the last 4 episodes. So we get our group starting to come back together as a bigger group, so they can plan for the big finale, which is going to drop on December 31st.
Aren't you going to the theater to watch it?
Yes, I am going to the theater. I'm going to eat popcorn. I'm going to drink a soda. I'm going to watch the Stranger Things 2-hour and 8-minute finale in theaters. I'm sure a lot of people out there are going to be doing the very same thing I am. I absolutely love these episodes. We get to learn more about some of the origins of characters that were kind of left a little bit quiet, like Vecna, which is Henry. We get more resolution on Max's character, what happened with Hopper and 11, some of the other characters that get stuck in the Upside Down. It's a lot of good stuff happening in these 3 episodes, and it just sets it up for that massive conclusion on December 31st, which is next Wednesday. So I'm blown away. I'm still debating whether Stranger Things is my number 1 show of the year. I still have Andor at number 1 as of right now, Andor season 2. But I think if that Stranger Things finale next Wednesday, hits a home run on that, it will be my number 1 show of the year. So
I gotta tell you, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, but I kind of compare Stranger Things not in the same aspect, but in the same perimeter of the way that they did the story, kind of like Fast and the Furious. Now, hear me out before you go. What the hell are you talking about? So when we first started Fast and Furious, when I was in high school, it was like 2000, 2001. Fast and Furious was about drifting cars. It's about racing. Okay. So was the second one, and so was the third one. But as we progressed, they moved away from the actual plot of what it actually meant in Fast and Furious, and they've become more agents and police and things like that. So how am I comparing this to Stranger Things?
Well,
Stranger Things.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So Stranger Things to me started out as a classic 80s and 90s show. A lot of the nostalgia of when we were kids, of some of the things that were brought back with some of the kids. But I feel like as we've gone and we've progressed and the kids have gotten older, I don't feel like that's as much as the show started out. I think we're getting less and less of that. And I think it's becoming more of an, and I know it is a horror show, but I think we're getting more into actual, like a horror movie of what's going on with the Upside Down and things like that. They've shifted and focused from Hawkins Town, and I feel like they've now shifted it more towards like the Upside Down world and things like that. And I'm not saying I don't enjoy that. I am just saying that I hate when they start a show out with bringing nostalgia back as we were younger as kids, and then they totally shift the actual idea of the show.
Well, I mean, it's fascinating. That's your take on that. I wrote my review about it last night, and I am actually thinking that it's America's version of Harry Potter. I think without the movies and the books, I think the Duffer Brothers were trying to create their version of Harry Potter. And the Noah Schnapp character, Will, and 11 are like the Harry Potter character, in my opinion. You combine them, they're the Harry Potter. And Vecna, Henry, that's the Voldemort character. And then the other kids are all the other kids in the school. The parents and Hopper and those guys, they're all the teachers. You know what I mean? And the government and some of those type of people, they're like some of the other characters in the Harry Potter universe. That's what I'm comparing it to. That's me personally. I think the Duffer Brothers were taking their love of nostalgia from the 1980s, which is my era as well. And I know it's your era, as we love Kids on Bikes, E.T., Goonies, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, stuff like that, where kids get into mischief and trouble and they get into adventures. You know what I mean? That's basically what we grew up on. And that's, to me, where the Duffer Brothers are really going with this. And you're right. It gets progressively darker and darker and darker. And that's what happens with Harry Potter. Remember, it was so bright and colorful in the first 2 movies, and then as they progressed, they got darker and darker and darker.
Well,
You know
it's the same. It's the same thing with Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight got darker and darker, and it became more.
Yeah.
It became less of reality characters of humans, and it became more of vampires and things like that. So
werewolves,
yeah. So I'm not going to say that I hate it. I hate when you take something and you just totally turn it the other way. Like that's like if I started out with my family restaurant, I started selling cheesesteaks. You know, I opened my own restaurant up, and then I shipped it from cheesesteaks to tacos and tacos to like Chinese food. And then people are going to go, well, what happened to cheesesteaks? Like, why are you making Chinese food? Why are you selling tacos? Like, that's not what your family, you know, and that's how I look at this is they've totally, you know, changed the aspect of what the show's mentally about. It's like real gritty and dark and you know, I haven't finished the whole thing yet, so I can't judge it totally, but I have to say that I do treasure the first 2 seasons more so than the rest of the seasons of Stranger Things.
Well, I don't want to say the person that created Harry Potter, but I don't want to say her name because she's kind of controversial, but she had an ending in mind when she created Harry Potter. That's I think the best thing, because so many people, and I've watched the finale of Lost and I've watched the finale of Sopranos, and it felt like maybe these people didn't have an ending in mind. They kind of just shoehorned an ending in there and that was it. The show's over or whatever. Whereas the Duffer Brothers knew where the show was going, and then they filled in the blanks as it went along. You know what I mean? Because I've read interviews with them or listened to interviews, and they said, yeah, we already know. We knew what was going to happen. We knew the ending of the show before we got to the second season, the 3rd season, the 4th season. And so they were building towards that. And the same thing with Harry Potter. What's her name? She knew the ending of Harry Potter. She knew the twist at the end of book 6 and stuff like that, you know? And the viewers are the ones that have to go on that ride, and they have to acknowledge what they're watching, or they're not acknowledge. And I feel like both with Harry Potter and with Stranger Things, they have acknowledged it, and they become worldwide phenomenons. It's come out today that Stranger Things has been voted the number 1 television show Netflix has ever put out. The number 1 show ever since Netflix started making television, number 1. And some of the things I've seen to saying it's the number 1 television show of all time.
No.
I think that's not that it's the best television show. I think it's people watching it that's what they're talking about. More people are watching these Stranger Things.
They're watching this more than they watch The Sopranos? Come on, bro.
That's what they're saying. So I don't know if I believe that or not. I don't know.
Well, here's another question for you. If it's not Stranger Things, what else show did Outer Banks, but what else other show that Netflix really?
Orange is the New Black. That
was mid.
They've had their fair share of what's the one with Kevin Spacey? That one was
but that didn't start on there. That started on Fox. That started on Fox.
Oh, I was talking.
You're talking about the one where he's an agent?
No, the Cards. It's a political show.
Yeah, House of Cards. No, Showtime.
Was it? Oh, okay.
It was a Showtime, and then Showtime. I forget when Showtime got bought out or they dropped it. Oh yeah, they dropped him because remember he had that controversial. Remember he had some stuff going on and controversial in his life.
I thought that all happened when the show was on Netflix. But that's just whatever. There's so many. Netflix has put out so many shows over the years, you know, and it makes sense that Stranger Things is their number 1 show. I mean, they only do 3 seasons. Most of their shows only go about 3 seasons. Stranger Things has gone 5 seasons, and their episode counts are like hour and a half. and they're starting getting into 2-hour episodes and stuff like that. That's massive. That's cinematic level, if you ask me. None of their other shows are on a cinematic level like Stranger Things is on.
Now, let me ask you a question about, and this is my last thing about Stranger Things that I'm going to ask you. I know they're doing a 2-hour finale at the theater. Will this, when it goes to Netflix, will it be a 1 episode or will they split it up?
It's going to be 1 episode, 1 2-hour and 8-minute episode, just like it is in the theaters.
So it went 3, 3, and 1. So there's 7 episodes.
4, 3, and 1.
4, 3, and 1. So there's only 1 episode they're dropping.
Yeah, on December 31st. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this has been their plan all along: Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So, all your holidays are going to be with the Stranger Things. I'm calling the Hawkins Heroes. Is what I'm calling them.
Okay. Well, Skip, where can they find you at?
Hi, you can find me at my name, Dan Skip Allen, on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, or X, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, everywhere.
The basement.
Say that again?
The basement.
The basement. Yeah. Or you can find me. I'm the owner, editor-in-chief, and head film critic of FromTheFourthRow.com. I got 5 writers for me. We're working hard for you out there. We started a new thing called, we're dropping trailer articles. So hopefully we'll see. Go to my trailer. Go to my website. You see new trailers for Avengers, The Odyssey, Madden, new articles.
How was that Madden trailer? Is it good?
Oh, it's good. But the movie don't come out till November 26th of next year.
Is it weird to see Nicolas Cage as John Madden?
Yeah, very weird. Both of them. I just can't see them 2 people playing those 2 people. It's just so weird because I grew up watching the Raiders and seeing Al Davis and John Madden. He kind of looks a little wonky. I'll bet. I will say Nicolas Cage does look a little wonky as John Madden, but
if you think about it, he really hasn't had that. Like, his career really hasn't been that huge. Like, him and John Travolta. Like, you gotta look at it. Like, both of those guys were stars in the 90s. Like, as we got towards the 2000s, like, there really wasn't much that John Travolta or Nicolas Cage did. They still did. I mean, you can say national treasure for John Travolta or Nicolas Cage, but he did a lot of B-rated films, like films that you were like, man, this is John Travolta. Like, is he really just taking this? Like, he's taking every role that they give him.
Well, it's Pulp Fiction that saved his career, because his career was basically going downhill, and then he did Pulp Fiction, and that kind of rejuvenated his career.
What about Face Off?
Face Off and Phenomenon and Michael and a lot of those type of movies, remakes of some classic movies, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. And they both got sidetracked with this whole tax evasion thing that they were in. They believed some guy that said they don't have to pay their taxes. And of course the government's like, no, you're making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You have to pay your tax. So it took a lot of crappy roles or got shoehorned into a bunch of junky roles so they could keep working, so they would pay their taxes back. Lately, Nick Cage has been coming out of it little by little. One bad movie, one good movie, one bad movie, one good movie. So he's doing better than John Travolta is, but I think the passing of John Travolta's wife hasn't really helped him much.
Well, John Travolta's he's just doing little, I mean, like, you just saw him on the commercial doing the Grease Santa commercial. He's not,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
He's not really, I mean, since his, I can't, honestly, man, I can't remember a good movie that John Travolta's done.
In a while.
In a while. Like,
no, he hasn't.
I mean, honestly, I think his best movie that he's ever done, I really do think it's Grease.
Well, I mean, I like him in Pulp Fiction. I like him in Saturday Night Fever. But I mean,
but if you said John Travolta, I guarantee you about 90% people would say Grease.
No, you're right. I do not disagree with that. A lot of people would say Grease.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you can always find me right here every Saturday morning for Saturday Morning Movie Reviews with my buddy Skip, Dan Allen. And then check me out on Friday nights as I do the Friday Night SmackDown review with my buddy Matt Mad Dog Kelly. And every once in a while, you'll see me on the AEW review show. That's my old show. But until next week, guys, I hope everybody had a safe and Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody has a great, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2026. Peace out, guys.
I knew it.